to get caught up in this environment, this atmosphere, and to be intimidated by it. So the question is, as Trent Dilfer pointed out, how they handle it. Can they embrace it? Can they find the joy and fun in it and not be intimidated?
Well, the freshman, Jonah DeLonga, out of Mobile. He will be kicking things away, and back deep is Mekhi Muse. And listen, Muse is dangerous. Had a 67-yard punt return for a TD a couple of weeks ago against Ball State. This is the fourth meeting between Georgia and UAB. The Dogs have won all three. Here's Muse from his own 5. Leaps a man at the 20 and brought down across the 25-yard line. That's where Georgia will take over. And we will get our first look at Carson Beck, the junior. This is his first full season as a starter. He has thrown for at least 250 yards in each of his first 3 starts this season. Do you know Stetson Bennett, Aaron Murray are the only other Georgia quarterbacks to do that in the past 20 seasons? Dejon Edwards in the backfield alongside. To the air, back over the middle. He's got a man open. There's Dominic Lovett in Blazer territory. And he's brought down at the 43-yard line. That's a 33-yard pickup. Mac McWilliams tripped him up.
Well, I told you the problem with the offense has not been Carson Beck. That was a perfect read, a perfect throw. He has really good arm strength.
Back to the outside. And that's caught by Ra Thomas. And one of the things that Georgia said, they want to start quicker. You know, Georgia outscored opponents by 102 points in the first quarter last season. That was the second largest margin in the FBS, only behind Ohio State. Well, so far this season, Bulldogs have only scored a total of 10 points in the first quarter in their first 3 games.
You're kidding, right?
Just 10 points.
I understand why Kirby Smart is not happy about the starts.
2nd and 1. Again, Brock Bowers with the catch. Oh, and stripped of the football. One of the things Georgia wanted to do, not only start quick, but get the football to number 19 early and often.
Yeah, they're coming out, firing the ball around, trying to make sure that Auburn knows, UAB knows that they are not afraid to try and get the big play on them. You see the ball come out there at the end.
Georgia will go to their 12 personnel. That means 2 tight ends. 1st and 10. Edwards. There's a flag on the play.
Yeah, I expect to see a lot of that tonight. Georgia is bigger and stronger up front.
Holding, number 4 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
David Smith is our referee.
That was the tight end, Oscar Delp. Right here on the left side, you see him hands outside and got a lot of jersey, and then just a tackle. Takedown from behind. But this is a big advantage up front for Georgia, but they came out firing just to try to get some intensity going.
So 1st and 20 from the Blazers 33-yard line. Fake the pitch, Beck throws, and incomplete. He was looking at Marcus Rosemy-Jackson. Ike Rowell with the defensive play.
You know, fake it, and now you get him outside the pocket. Watch the defensive play here at the end. That's a really, really good play on the back end there, getting that ball out. Looks like that was Rowell, making the play. Good timing.
Cash Jones now in the backfield. He's the redshirt sophomore walk-on. And you see Bowers has joined him as well. They'll swing it out to Jones. Jones. Inside the 30, brought down at the 26 by McWilliams. 7-yard pickup for the Dogs.
You know, we were talking about Carson Beck, and This is his first season as a starter. He waited a long time to get his shot, and he's facing a 3rd and 13 here.
He's a junior, and it's rare that you see a guy stay around that long, especially considering the success Stetson Bennett had here. Bowers in the slot. Beck looking his way, throwing to the end zone. And caught! But was he out of bounds?
Yeah, we got a flag, though.
And a flag as well.
Yeah, that was an easy pass interference call.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 0, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Normally, partner, pass interference is the hardest call to make because it involves judgment. But when the guy is in the face of the receiver and has his hands all over him and can't turn around or doesn't turn around, it's a pretty easy call. It's Keandre swoops here. You see he's got him grabbed, never looks around. Easy call.
So 1st and 10 from the Blazers 11. From the gun is Beck. Receiver screen, Darius Smith, touchdown, Georgia. His first touchdown of the season. The junior out of Florida from 11 yards out.
Get your guys, your athletes in space, let them make a man miss. And they have some athletes. It helps when you got a tight end like Brock Bowers who can block too.
Peyton Woodring, the freshman, in for the extra point. Drills it. Georgia wanted to start quick, and they do it. First offensive series, they go 6 plays, 75 yards, and do it under 3 minutes as Arian Smith with the receiver screen, and Georgia's up 7.
It is a beautiful time for college football.
Welcome back to Athens. We played just under 3 minutes. Georgia scores 7 on the first offensive series. Jared Zirkle will kick things away. Jermaine Brown Jr. back deep for UAB from his own end zone. Brown cross the 15, cross the 20, down the sideline, and brought down just shy of the 30-yard line. And here comes Jacob Zeno, redshirt junior, UAB quarterback. And you know, this isn't the first time that he's faced the Georgia Bulldogs.
He's seen him before, right?
Yeah, he saw him in the 2020 Sugar Bowl as a freshman.
How about that eye candy? Moving linemen out to wide receivers and bringing them back.
Jermaine Brown, Isaiah Jacobs in the backfield. Zeno to Jacobs. And Jacobs picks up about 6. Dan Jackson makes the stop. And again, UAB will go with pace. 4 wide. To the slot. And that's complete. That's a first down. Tajon Palmer. Palmer has become the go-to guy for Jacob Zeno. That's a 12-yard pickup. They'll move the sticks. And a first down for the Blazers.
Yeah, tempo, pace. And Georgia struggled with pace against South Carolina for a while.
Zeno under pressure and throws it away. Warren Brinson is the guy who applied the pressure there to Zeno. And look, he got sacked 7 times last week. So really one of the matchups you want to see is this offensive line against that Georgia defensive front.
Yeah, look at his completion percentage, though. 80%, almost 1,000 yards passing in his first season as a starter.
Jacobs again over that left side. He's across midfield. Isaiah Jacobs is the redshirt sophomore out of Oklahoma. He's the younger brother of Josh Jacobs, that phenomenal running back of the Las Vegas Raiders.
It still pains me to hear Las Vegas Raiders instead of Oakland.
3rd and 6. Empty set for UAB. Zeno under pressure and sacked. And it's Brinson again. Brinson is the guy they say probably the most disruptive lineman right now. Makes a lot of splash plays, and that was one of them.
Listen, this is a new defensive line compared to the last couple years. A little bit younger, very athletic, maybe not as dominant. Here's a stat for you. Between 2014 and 2021, they didn't have any defensive linemen drafted by the NFL. The last 2 years, 4 first-round picks.
You're going to rely on Brunson considering Michael Williams is sick, not playing tonight. Patrick Foley will punt things away. Mekhi Muse from his own 7. Muse spins and brought down just shy of the 20-yard line.
You know, partner, what do you got over there?
Next week, ABC, ESPN app, we got number 3 Texas hosting Kansas. That's at 3:30 Eastern. Then we got number 9 Notre Dame taking on 18th ranked Duke.
It's going to be a good weekend.
A very good weekend.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's got a big one tonight.
You know, UAB was a pass interference call away from getting off the field that last drive.
Second offensive series for Beck in Georgia. Andrew Paul is checked in. Beck under center. Fakes the handoff, rolls to Bowers. Bowers spins and brought down at the 30.
You see, we've got a lot of the quick passing game going on with Georgia right now, which is what we've seen a lot of the first 3 weeks of the season. But that's not really their identity. What they want to get back to is they want to find a way to be dominant in the rushing game and pound the ball. But we told you about starters out. They're down 3 running backs. They're down a starting right tackle. So they're still searching for that identity. They've not even rushed the ball yet, really, except once maybe.
Here's the first run there. Over the left side, Andrew Paul.
That is the first rushing attempt for Georgia.
You mentioned those starters out tonight. Georgia, 6 of them.
Yeah, you look at that offense. Their top 2 running backs are out. Their best receiver, Ladd McConkey, is out. And then Arius Mims, the starting right tackle, is out, which required a shifting around of the offensive line.
Well, talk about running backs out. Dylan Bell is in the backfield. He's tight end, but plays receiver. That was a receiver screen there to Dominic Lovett, and he dropped it.
Yeah, it's a part of the intent here for Georgia is all this perimeter stuff, quick game, to loosen up the box so you don't have to try and run against numbers. You don't want to be outnumbered in there.
5 different guys caught the football in that first scoring drive for Georgia.
It's a big 3rd down for UAB.
Probably why they want to talk about it. Their defense. Tyreek Howard, the senior out of Mississippi.
Listen, this UAB defense has to feel good about their performance so far when you think about that pass interference that cost them on the first drive. And this is just winning one-on-one battles on that right side of the offensive line. And remember, Mims is out at the right tackle, and they moved Xavier Truss over to that right side, and that reshuffling. This is still an offensive line that has to learn to gel and work together.
Brett Thorson with the punt. Mac McWilliams calls for the fair catch and makes it at his own 28. Here comes Jacob Zeno once again. We talked about that he's faced Georgia before when he was a freshman. He came in and took on Georgia in that 2020 Sugar Bowl in the fourth quarter. Made a completion, but he also had an interception. Of course, Georgia won this game 26-14. Remember, we asked him about it. We said, what do you remember about the game? He said, them Georgia Bulldog linemen came at me fast.
Yeah, he knows what he's getting into tonight.
Isaiah Jacobs, the lone setback from the pistol. Zeno to Bryce Damus, the tight end.
People forget that everything is new for Jacobs. He only threw 29 passes in his 3 years at Baylor. You know, he was behind Charlie Brewer and then was also behind Bohannon, finally transferred over here. So this is his first time of getting extended play.
Down to the field, Lawrence Sisler.
But watching Zeno play, man, he's got some poise, and just sitting on the sidelines, he's a very poised quarterback through the ups and downs of the season so far. UAB didn't have a great start against Georgia Southern, but he kept his poise, understands how to play with what OC Alex Morton calls controlled aggressiveness. The game isn't won in just one play, because you know that it's 15 rounds fighting for 60 minutes here.
And it helps when you got a running game like that, and Isaiah Jacobs in the backfield. That's an 8-yard pickup and another first down. Listen, Jacob Zeno is third nationally in completion percentage right now. Completes about 80%. He averages about 318 a game passing. That's fifth best in the nation.
He's got a good skill set. You know, for a guy who's 6'4", he moves better than you would expect. He's got an above average arm and throws with good accuracy and touch. He just has to be poised in the pocket, and they need to protect him better.
2nd and 9. And that one hot. Too hot for Tajon Palmer.
Yeah, that's one that he's got to take something off. You know, 80% of his passes have been completed. And those short ones, he's got such a live arm, he's got to take the heat off of those short ones.
Both teams 0 for 1 on third down. Here's Zeno. And Dalen Everett. Great open field play. Tackles T.J. Jones, and the Blazers will have to punt it away.
That is a great defensive play. You are chasing a guy to the edge, and Everett does a great job of chasing, following his man, and just drives right through. No hesitation, doesn't look for the ball, goes right for the guy on the outside shoulder, so he knows he won't miss that tackle. That's a great, great play.
Patrick Foley, he's the transfer out of Arkansas, the punter. Mekhi Muse standing at his own 20 for Georgia. Georgia. Well, Dylan Bell, incomplete.
You know, you were talking about Mike Bobo. You know, he's well known around these parts. He was the quarterback here and was actually an assistant coach here back under Mark Richt. As you see the tremendous effort there to split the blockers and make the tackle by Michael Moore. There's Mike Bobo. Was the head coach at Colorado State for a few years.
Dylan Bell in the backfield. He gets the carry over the left side. Trying to turn that corner. Brought down at the 30.
Yeah, that's the identity we know about Georgia. Little counter. You know, bring those couple of linemen out there around the edge to make lead blocks and get you a first down. Well, close to a first down anyway. That's the type of run game we're used to seeing from Georgia. That was on their second rush of the game.
Bell, basically a wide receiver, has played wide receiver his entire career. Just this season has made the transition to running back to help out, considering the number of injuries you pointed out, Rod. 3rd and 3. Back to the outside, and that's complete. And Marcus Rosemy, Jack Saint. And he's in Blazer territory. 26-yard pickup.
You know what's often missed about plays like that? Just the timing. Beck got the ball there quickly enough to allow his guy, Marcus Rosemy, Jack Saint, to make a move. Get it quickly to him, faces you, now he can make a guy miss. Great timing.
From the Blazer 44. Misdirection. Beck throws it away.
Do you remember back when Carson Beck was the starting quarterback ahead of Stetson Bennett here? I can't believe he stuck around here 2 more years after that, when almost any elite quarterback these days who isn't a starter after a year or so leaves. He stayed.
Second down. Beck over the middle to Dejon Edwards. And Edwards is brought down at the 38. What do you got for us, sis?
Guys, I actually ran into Carson Beck's mom down here on the field earlier today, Tracy, and she said the reason he stayed is he's such a laid-back guy. He's super patient, one of his highest qualities. He told his family he was staying in Athens. He loves the campus, his team. One day his time would come. That time is now, y'all. Yeah,
you're right about that. And a lot of guys, even Kirby Smart said that. When we asked about what kind of guy is Carson, he said he's calm, his demeanor, quiet demeanor. Here's third down. Inside draw to Edwards. That's enough for a first down. It's a 7-yard pickup. You know, Dejon Edwards got his first start just last week. He had missed the first couple of games with an MCL injury, but man, ran for 118 and a touchdown. And he gets it again. Moore with the stop.
And we talk about offensive line play and the injuries and the shuffling, but this offensive line is talented, even though it's young. And you saw some great blocking on that play before the last one with Ernest Green, who was playing at the left tackle spot, making a really good block inside.
2nd and 7. A lot of shifting. They go 2 tight ends. Here comes pressure. And it's Edwards. And he's wrapped up at the 27, 3-yard pickup.
Oh, you see the approach by Georgia. They came out firing the ball all around, trying to loosen up the UAB defense, get them out of the box, and then come back and pound it inside. And if I'm UAB, my approach is, okay, you want to win this game? You want to beat Georgia? You're going to have to beat us with, you know, your right hand tied behind your back. You got to throw it. You're not going to run it on us inside. Outnumber them in the box.
So far, Georgia's 2 for 3 on third down. They're looking at 3rd and 4. From the Blazers 25, here comes pressure. Beck stands in, throws, delivers to Ra Thomas.
What a tackle by Keandre Swoops.
That's the quarterback of the defense.
Well, this is a no-brainer here for Kirby Smart as you see the tremendous effort by Swoops. The book says anytime it's less than 4th and 3 or 4 or less, you have to go, and you know Kirby's going to go for it here.
This season, Georgia's 2 for 2 on 4th down. Looking at 4th and 2. Folks, they've got a freshman kicker who's had issues.
Yeah.
And Kirby Smart said he would lean more on going for it. Here comes pressure again. Beck stands in the pocket and incomplete. He was looking at Ra Thomas, but Mac McWilliams, who's their best cover corner, was right with him.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, the pressure. I mean, the pressure made Carson Beck get rid of this a little sooner than he wanted to, and it was off. It was behind the receiver. He felt the pressure coming, and that ball was behind. It was a little bit late. Nice job by Mac Williams. But there you see the pressure and one guy completely free. That looks like that was Desmond Little.
Coach Dilfer certainly likes that as Georgia goes 10 plays, 54 yards, and turns it over on downs. Again, Georgia's had some issues with their kicker, who's a freshman. Missed a couple of field goals last week. Jermaine Brown Jr. in the backfield. They call him Skull. He gets the carry. And he's across the 30. Kristen Miller with the stop. 6-yard pickup for the Blazers.
Trent Dilfer said that he wanted his team to engage, embrace the battle. Their defense has. It's up to the offense now to get into the battle.
Under a minute here in the quarter. Zeno. Back to the line of scrimmage.
Partner, there are not many former players who've done what Trent Dilfer is doing. Guys who win a Super Bowl and then wind up becoming a head coach.
3rd and 4. Zeno under pressure and too high. Chaz Chambliss pried that pressure.
I think the start of the play was the problem. I don't think that Zeno was ready for it, or either the center just went early because he had to react to it kind of weirdly to throw the timing off for everything.
So Foley will punt it away. Muse standing at his own 30. From his own 30. Fumbles the football. And there's a pile at the 37. And UAB says they have it. And they get the first turnover of the game.
Listen, we talked about UAB dealing with this atmosphere and how it would be easy for them to be intimidated. Not so much. I mean, despite the 7-0 lead, I think their defense has played pretty well. Their offense hasn't quite engaged in the battle because of that great defense. But plays like this will keep an underdog in the game and confident. See, this ball is knocked out by the tackle. Oh, how about
they're beating themselves. Drop balls, don't turn your back in the end zone, PI, little things like that get you beat, especially against the best team in college football world, so we got to fix that.
Thanks, Coach.
You got it.
Trent Dilfer's Blazers looking at 1st and 10 from the 22. And Jacobs tripped up maybe a yard short of the line of scrimmage. Trent Dilfer told us, when we were talking to him about the game, he said, look, this game is really all about us. We got to change what the perception of what people saw of this program from what we put on tape last week. That one's to the outside. Big stick as Amari Thomas made the catch.
Well, he's right. He is all about changing culture and being a player's coach. And you heard him talk about embracing the battle. Big 3rd down here.
3rd and 4 from the 16 in the red zone. Zeno throwing, complete. Davis, touchdown, Blazers.
Georgia has struggled in the red zone this season. And the hardest thing defensively for you to keep track of is where the tight ends go down in the red zone. There is so much going on in and around the box. You get lost, you lose them. And here you have the tight end, Davis, coming from right to left behind all this blocking, and he just got lost.
Matt Quinn with the extra point. And basically less than a minute into the 2nd quarter, UAB has tied it up. They go in. UAB 4 plays, score in under a minute. Muse from his own 5. Across the 20. And tripped up across the 25-yard line. And if it was Muse, that fumble that set up that touchdown for Trent Dilfer and his Blazers.
Yeah, points off turnovers. This is a split zone pass. There you see the tight end, Bryce Davis. Usually in a split zone run, Davis, the tight end, would block on the edge. This time he doesn't block. He slips outside, and Zeno does a great job of getting the ball to him early. And all of a sudden, partner, you asked me at the beginning, I ask you, what's wrong with Georgia?
They certainly thought they were going to start fast, but once again, Just 7 points in that first quarter. Here's Edwards over the left side, big hole. He's got a first down. Keandre swoops.
Great
Makes another stop.
Yeah, great double team block on that left side. Xavier Truss is on the right side. Micah Morris, good blocking.
Here's Beck. Plenty of time over the middle. He's got a guy. Oh, overthrew him. And he had Jackson Meeks wide open.
Can't miss that. That's a long foul ball in baseball parlance. Means nothing. You have to get it to the receiver, even if you underthrow him when he's that wide open. You cannot overthrow him. But again, we talked about this issue about injuries, receivers being out, new receivers in. The timing isn't great. Yeah, he knows he missed it.
2nd and 10. Under center. It's Edwards. For a couple. Rusall Jr. with the stop.
No Lad McConkey at wide receiver. You know, new guys are trying to find a rhythm. They haven't found their identity. They're a play action, take shots offense, and, they're learning to work together.
3rd and 6. Georgia 2 of 4 on 3rd down.
Got to be Brock Bowers' time.
Bowers is in the slot at the top of your screen. Beck. Plenty of time, steps up. And he's got himself a first down, it looks like it. They'll move the sticks.
Nifty running. Generally, you know that your quarterback, even if he's a pocket passer, has got to scramble 3 or 4 times a game to pick up first downs for you to keep the offense in rhythm and flowing.
Got an injured Blazer on the field as well. We'll check on the injury. All tied up at 7 here in Athens.
Business works of ESPN.
Well, all season long, student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live My Student Section of the Year. Just download the Taco Bell app to learn more. Georgia has now scored on the first possession of each quarter. They did it to begin the game in the first quarter, and they do it here in the second quarter as they kick things away. And it's a touchback. Now listen, right before Georgia scored, take a look at their head coach, Kirby Smart. Went right to the defense, and you can see he's there with Will Muschamp as well, talking to that defense.
Yeah, and Glenn Schumann is over there too, the defensive coordinator up in the booth. And that's about 60, 70 years of defensive expertise, all trying to figure out a way to deal with the young offensive coordinator, Alex Mortensen, who is a first-time OC and actually a first-time on-the-field coach.
Just 37 years old. Chris Mortensen's son. Spent a lot of years at Alabama. Worked with some great quarterbacks. Now getting his first job as a coach. And they go to Amari Thomas. Around that right side, and he's close to a first down for UAB.
Well, Alex Mortensen knows that he cannot win this game or be competitive simply playing in the box. So it's a perimeter-based game, and he knows that Georgia is super aggressive, so you're seeing misdirection plays to take advantage of that.
8-yard pickup. Receiver screen. To the outside, Amari Thomas again. And Kamari Lassiter. This is a guy really physical on the outside for Georgia.
Yeah, and Georgia is taking away the easy throw, the free access. They're playing their corners up close, so those screens aren't really there.
Big 3rd and 2 here for UAB. To Brown. And he may be a bit short.
As tempting as it might be for Trent Dilfer. Oh, what the heck? He's going to roll the dice.
And 1. He's going to go for it.
Oh, boy.
And it's Brown again. And if he does got it, he barely got it.
How about that? Rolling the dice. I mean, that's a head coach telling his guys, hey, we're not playing it easy.
No.
We're coming
We're
to
here to
throw our
win.
punches.
We are here to win.
We are throwing punches. And then to give the ball to your small back, Jermaine Brown, who's 5'8", 190. And look at the power and the effort, the drive to get that first down.
Jacobs is now checked into the backfield for UAB. And let's see if they want to take another look.
Kirby's saying his knee was down and he never got the first down.
That's David Smith, our referee in the white hat.
The previous play is under further review. Ruling on the field was the runner made the first down.
Now remember, you need, really complete video evidence, indisputable video evidence to overturn the call. So tie goes to the runner. It's got to be really obvious he did not pick up the first down.
Knee down, where's the ball?
You cannot tell from that angle, right? You want to see the knee and you want to see the ball. That's really close,
It's
really
close.
hard
I
to
mean,
tell.
he looked like he's right there at the line.
It has to be indisputable, and I'm not seeing enough to tell me there's clear evidence to overturn the call.
That first down is right there at the 35.
They may actually confirm it.
Here's the back view.
It's not so much the knee as it is his backside when his backside goes down. Hey, was it just me, or did you get the sense yesterday talking to Kirby Smart that he was a little concerned and a little worried? I mean, I think mostly because of all the injuries and guys not having enough time to work together and seeing how it all fits. But he seemed a little bit more concerned than you would for a team that's undefeated and a two-time defending champ.
Yeah. As you pointed out at the top of the broadcast, this has been something new for them.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
There you go. It's been confirmed, as you talked about, because these injuries now take away from the depth that this team has had for so many years.
Look, they still have great players.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. But at some point, when you go 2-3 deep at positions, you're playing guys who need reps. And it takes a while to get them all confident and know what everybody's doing. And that's what Georgia's going through right now.
So 1st and 10 for the Blazers. 8 minutes until the half. Down 7. And we got a false start.
Yep. False start, 2 guys moving at the same time. You got everything.
Delay game on the defense. Disconcerting signal. 5-yard penalty.
And explain that, they've made an emphasis on that with these defensive players.
An off-season point of emphasis because a lot of coaches complain that defensive lines were shouting out competing audibles and the like to really throw off the offense, and they flagged it this time.
So it's 1st and 5 for UAB. Jacobs bottled up.
Isaiah Jacobs, the ball carrier.
It seems like every 3rd or 4th play, we see 97 Brinson come free inside. He's a big guy, but incredibly quick at 305 pounds.
Keep in mind, Michael Williams is sick, not playing for Georgia. To the outside, and Malachi Starks, who's right with Damus. Maybe a yard, but that was it. 3rd down coming.
You got 2 downs to get this, right?
3rd and 2, a long 2.
Oh,
listen to this crowd.
It is loud.
Zeno's going to keep it. Dives and got a first down. It looked like there was a mix-up there of whether or not he was going to hand that off to somebody.
It was a miscommunication, and then he had the presence of mind to simply say, hey, let me go get the first down. Look at this. Wrong direction, either by the running back or by Zeno.
Nonetheless, it's a first down. And Jacobs hit behind the line of scrimmage by Darius Smith.
Tackled him for a loss. 2-yard loss back to
It's a 3-yard loss.
Normally when we talk about Georgia's defense, we talk about that defensive line, but they are really good on the back end. Great tacklers in that secondary.
To the outside. Amari Thomas flipped in the air by Malachi Starks.
What a player. He was outstanding last year as a freshman. He's a Freshman of the Year finalist. He's a preseason potential Thorpe Award winner. Big third down.
And a flag. This is the 10th play coming in. You can look at Coach Dilfer. He's trying to say, hey, look.
Dilfer saying they're doing the same thing.
Yep.
You flagged them once, flag them again for the disconcerting signals.
Will move to the Blazers 48.
Trent Dilfer's in his first season as head coach here at UAB. It's his first job coaching collegiate football. Spent the past 4 seasons coaching a private high school in Tennessee. In fact, coaching them to back-to-back state championships the past couple of years. 3rd and 9. Zeno to the outside and incomplete.
Zeno's pass is incomplete.
That was a big penalty call, and Trent Dilfer knows it because he was ready to go 2 downs to pick up that first down. And Georgia has this reputation for shifting their defensive front a lot and calling their own signals or the other team's signal to bother them. And so every coach that plays Georgia tells the officials to be on it.
You saw Dilfer screaming at the officials to call it again. Foley to punt things away. Muse inside of his own 10. Low snap. Takes a Blazers bounce. They'll down it at the 7. Let's get his score update to the studio. Here's Kevin Connors.
All right, because Dr. Pepper Fansville studio update. Texas and Baylor final Big 12 regular season meeting. Sam Acho, it's Quinn Ewers on the ground.
This is what happens when you spend the offseason losing 15 pounds of fat, turning into muscle. You run a little bit faster.
29-yard touchdown run. Baylor has 1 rushing yard. Brian is 14-3.
My man Sam Acho read that highlight happily. You know what I mean? He put a little emphasis in there talking about Texas.
Be true to your school. I'm not mad at him.
14-7 our score, 5 minutes until the half. Beck from his own 8. Plenty of time. Over the middle. And he's got Marcus Rosemy St. Jack Saint at 17 yards. Give him some breathing room.
I don't know if an official threw a flag or lost. Yeah, it was a flag.
And Georgia, the sideline warning. One more, that will be a flag for the Bulldogs.
I thought I saw the flag out there. I wasn't sure what the call was initially, but it was actually the judge, the sideline judge on the Georgia side who threw the flag in the middle of the play.
12 personnel for Georgia, 2 tight ends. From their own 26. Beck looking, going deep. He's got a man. He's got Arian Smith. Overthrew him again. Second time they've had a Bulldog who beat the defense and can't connect.
Well, they're attacking the safeties. There's a lot of quarters coverage back there, so that puts the safeties in one-on-one coverage, and they've been going after swoops. The second time they got behind him, And it looked like Smith kind of eased up and glided a little bit and misjudged the ball. I'm not so sure that was Carson Beck's fault on that throw.
Yeah, you touch your hands, you got to catch it.
Yeah,
touches your hands, you got to catch it.
At the end of it, it eased up a little bit.
And off the hands there of Lovett.
I'm sure that Kirby Smart would say his team is keeping UAB in this game. You know, that missed throw, another missed throw, couple of drops, key penalties. But listen, this is the #1 team in the country, and no one makes excuses for them. They're more talented, and you'd expect them to have more control of this game.
That's Lovett's second drop. This is 3rd and 10 now. Under 5 minutes until the half. Keep in mind, UAB will get the football to begin the second half.
Looks like the same coverage for UAB.
Here's Beck, and again, he's got a man. This is Lovett, catches this one. He's got a first down. Brought down at the 44, 18-yard pickup.
Yeah, smart decision, work on the safeties. They're in this off coverage a bit here. Here you see, nice little in-turn by Lovett.
First and 10 to the Dogs at the Georgia 45.
Beck, almost 200 yards passing. So far in his 3 starts, he's thrown for at least 250 in every game. Here's Edwards. Or Dylan Bell, check that, he's across midfield.
You know, the other thing is, I don't think Carson Beck has been hit much, if all, tonight. And he's very comfortable in the pocket. So one thing that UAB has to think about, do they want to turn up the heat?
Here's Lovett.
Next pass complete to Dominic.
Just shy of the 40. BJ Mays with the stop.
And that's the halftime thing for UAB to talk about. Do they want to continue to lay off the receivers and not bring any pressure? Or do they want to take away the quick game and those easy passes the way Georgia has done and force more deeper throws and get after the quarterback?
Brock Bowers is checked back into the game. Dejon Edwards as well. Georgia again trying to put some points on the board before the half. Here's Beck. He's got Bowers. Bowers. Step back. Touchdown. Brock Bowers. Partner, I'm sorry. If I'm Georgia, the offensive game plan, feed 19.
He's that dude, man. He is that dude. And did you see the catch he made? That ball was underthrown, reached out, plucked it out of the air, and then again showed you his running.
All right, Brian, coming up on the DirecTV halftime report, we will check in on Ohio State and Notre Dame and what has been a defensive slugfest in South Bend. Plus, we're going to recap Oregon's home run of a performance today against Colorado. Hear from Coach Prime as well. And it's Acho Mine, the plays, performance, and moment that made Sam nearly lose his. Coming up, Brian, at the half.
All right, KC. I like that blazer too, man.
How about those Oregon
Don't leave
Ducks
that
today?
around the studio.
That's a nice blazer.
It was. Here's 1st and 10. And intercepted. Tyke Smith coming up with the pick, the transfer from West Virginia.
That ball was tipped inside. And if you're UAB, the one thing you did not want was any kind of a turnover here. Now watch inside, and it looks like that was Smile Munden who actually gets it. 6'3", 225, gets up and makes the play to allow his buddy Smith to get the pick. And you're just trying to get to halftime.
Yeah, you know, and I was going to say it was such a crucial offensive possession for UAB. They get the ball to begin the second half. If they could have put points on the board, it would have really done wonders for them. But it's a turnover. Here's Beck looking to make them pay. Cash Jones. Jones Inside the 20.
You know what they say when he gets the ball? Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash.
I love it. I ain't heard that one in a while. Shout out to our guy, Randy Moss. Shout out to our guy, Randy Moss. Rusal on the ground there for UAB as, you know, Georgia tried to go with tempo, but Rusal said, I'm injured.
And this is where Georgia can get control over the game, and Trent Dilfer knows it. He wanted to get to halftime, wanted to call safe plays, but sometimes the ball just ricochets the wrong way.
Hey, next Saturday night on the SEC Network, 23rd ranked Tennessee. Man, they got them a good win today. Hosting South Carolina, Neyland Stadium, Knoxville. Coverage begins 7:30 Eastern. There's Mr. Rusal as he walks off under his own power. So it'll be 2nd and 1. Georgia over 300 yards of offense here in the first half. Here's Edwards. He's got a first down.
The good ones always make the first guy miss. You talk about Edwards having to wait his turn behind Roderick Robinson, who's out, Kendall Milton, who's out. Remember, they lost Branson Robinson before the season started.
Back. Bowers. Bowers. Inside the 5.
I would think that he was the one guy that UAB would say is not going to beat us, because he hurt them a couple years ago as a freshman.
1st and goal. To Edwards, looking for his 2nd touchdown of the night. And he's just shy. Did they give it to him? Yes, touchdown. From 3 yards out, his 2nd of the night. And that interception cost the Blazers 6.
Did he get in? Still on his feet?
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
It's always about where the
ball
is.
Yep. Broke the plane. You feel that sense of relief with the crowd here?
Oh, yeah.
And the party is about to be on for these fans. Although they've been enjoying themselves all night.
Oh, they have. Here's Woodring for the extra point.
You know, partner, Trent Dilfer said to us this week that a night game in the SEC is unlike anything else in sports. He said maybe the Kentucky Derby, you know, is equivalent, but having played in a Super Bowl, he says the atmosphere here, this kind of night, is better than a Super Bowl.
And you heard him tell our Lawrence Sisler, look, I like the way our intensity's going, but the self-inflicted wounds.
Yep.
And that's been the story for UAB so far in the first half.
Yep, that pass interference call in the end zone. You know, a 3rd down that they could have got stopped and got off the field. And then this tip ball at the end, you know, 14 points, as he talked about. They've been self-inflicted wounds.
Georgia has now run up 3 straight touchdowns, so 21 straight points for them.
But good teams, great teams, will make you cause self-inflicted wounds.
Here's Brown inside the 5. Brown, little daylight. Brought down at the 30-yard line. You know, for 10 years, ESPN has supported the College Football Playoff Foundation, bringing college football community together during the Extra Yard for Teachers Week to celebrate and honor great teachers. Since its inception, the CFP Foundation has recognized over 500,000 educators. And for more, make sure you follow at CFP Extra Yard. From their own 30, Jacobs.
UAB trying to get to the locker room, and the Georgia's calling their timeouts, and not that easy. We're going to make you run every play and see if we can get one more shot at it. You know, partner, it's sort of interesting when you look at the way Georgia has performed offensively in this game. It's been with the pass. They have 264 yards passing, only 58 rushing. And we started the night with talking about finding their identity, who they really are offensively. Now, I'm not sure this is the identity that they want long term.
Well, Carson Beck has got 2 touchdown passes. He had just a total of 3 in the first 3 games. To the outside, and Jacobs, and forced out of bounds.
But part of that identity ought to be, as you mentioned, get the ball to Brock Bowers.
Oh, without question.
As much as possible.
This is Brock Bowers' second career game with 5 catches and 80 yards receiving in the first half. He's got 97 and a touchdown. Zeno, that's complete. Crossing route, Amari Thomas.
UAB, you want to move quickly, but you also want to take care of the football here.
Under a minute. Zeno. He'll keep it. He's got a first down. He's across midfield and more. And brought down inside the 35 of Georgia.
You know what? I think Trent Dilfer was content to run out the clock until Kirby Smart called that timeout. And then he realized he's not going to let us just run out the clock. So they became more aggressive.
Zeno steps up under the pressure. He'll keep it again. And brought down at the 30. Smile Munden Jr. with the stop. 30 seconds left until the half. UAB will call a timeout. It's their second. They got 1 more left.
And all of a sudden, UAB has a chance to get points before halftime. And again, I think it goes back to that timeout call.
Here's the OC, Alex Mortensen.
Yeah.
37 years old.
And he's got a timeout to play with now, so he can use the middle of the field. But listen, you want to be careful with a relatively inexperienced quarterback, because the middle of the field is dark and full of terrors. You know, those linebackers and safeties are lurking. And so you don't want to give away a scoring opportunity down here. So you want your quarterback to be confident and safe if he's going to use the middle of the field.
Amari Thomas and Davis, his tight end, have been the targets for Zeno.
And Zeno cannot take a sack here no matter what.
Under pressure, Zeno throwing. That's complete to Dallas Payne. Payne spins. He's got a first down and goes out of bounds at the 21-yard line. 22 seconds left. It's a 10-yard pickup and another first down for UAB.
What a tremendous effort by Payne, and awareness of the situation, getting to the sideline to stop the clock. They are in field goal range.
Here's their kicker, Matt Quinn. He's the senior.
You know, here's the thing. You can take a shot at the end zone if you can trust your quarterback to put the ball where only the receiver can get it or it goes out of bounds. You don't want to leave it in play where the defense can make a play. And, you know, we've heard absolutely nothing from Tajon Palmer, number 19, tonight. And he's a guy that can be effective down here at the wide receivers, but I think he's up in the slot.
Here's 1st and 10. From the Georgia 21, they go empty set. Zeno throwing to the outside, incomplete to Thomas. He's been targeted 8 times. That is his 6th catch. It's an 18-yard pickup, so now it is 1st and goal with 17 seconds left for UAB.
And you have a timeout.
And Georgia now has 1 timeout left.
So for UAB, the playbook is open. You've got a timeout. So you don't have to throw it here. You could spread them out and run the ball and see what you get out of it. And you've got a quarterback who can run it. And how about this catch by Thomas? I mean, he's only 5'11". This is a 50-50 ball. And the ball was left a little bit inside, but he goes up and makes sure that he can take it away. Tremendous effort, and then getting out of bounds. A score here would be huge for UAB.
Well, you've got, as you pointed out, Tajon Palmer, who's 6'2". Bryce Davis, who's already caught a touchdown, the tight end, he's 6'3". And you get the football to begin the second half, so you want points.
Again, playbook is open.
Bunch set at the bottom of your screen. Zeno looking to the end zone, too high.
Yeah, not the right choice. He was trying to squeeze it in between 2 defenders to Bryce Davis. And you'll see this is not much of a window. Not much of a window. He thinks it's there, but he doesn't realize that Lassiter is coming over from the other side.
This is the 9th play of this drive.
I do like the idea that they put Zeno on the move, get him away from the rush.
2nd and goal. Zeno looking, throwing to the end zone, touchdown, Amari Thomas, who's done it all on this drive. His first career touchdown, the freshman out of Alabama.
Oh, what a first half performance for Thomas. 7 catches. And that touchdown gives life to UAB. Remember, as you said, they get the ball to start the 3rd quarter.
Matt Quinn in for the extra point. And now it's just a 14-point lead for Georgia.
Talk about embracing the battle. That's what Trent Dilfer told his guys and told us. And down 28-7 with just a little bit of time coming back. They get great protection for Zeno, and he delivers a strike. Thomas fighting his way to get inside. He knows there's inside man-to-man coverage by Smith, but he still forced his way inside. That's a great route to get inside.
Jacob Zeno, 15 of 21. He's now thrown for over 100 yards. He's got 2 touchdown passes, and the freshman there, Thomas, with his first career touchdown.
You just get the feeling that UAB is not going to go away easily.
And you know one thing Trent Dilfer told us too, he told his team, what do you want to be remembered for when you go into Georgia, face the #1 team in the country on national television? What do you want to be remembered for? And I tell you what, they've come to play.
Listen, I can tell you, having been a guy in college who played against the #1 team, you know, all the talk and all the intimidation stuff, if you hang in there in the first quarter, you realize, hey, we can play with these guys. And once that happens, you're in the game.
And Amari Thomas has more catches tonight than he's had all season. Short kick. The up man fumbled the football. And UAB says they have it, but is he down? There's a flag. That's Dylan Bell, who was the up man who had it. Here's David Smith.
The result of the play was a fumble recovered by the kicking team. During the return, holding number 17 on the receiving team. That penalties decline. Will be first down, UAB.
Wow, how about the Blazers? So let's see if they set up for a field goal. If you can get some more points here.
We're talking a 60-yarder from here. And his ball carried a little bit loosely, kind of low by Bell heading into traffic. And that ball's low. It's hanging out there, and it easily comes out. I don't think they can make a field goal from this range.
Well, you know, Trent Dilfer said, look, my kicker is good from the 33 and in. As you point out, this is, at the 42. So, hey, look, throw it to the end zone.
And Georgia has two guys standing in the end zone to defend the goal line.
Because that'd be a 60-yard try. And Kirby's going to use that last timeout.
So defensively, what you worry about here is not the throw to the end zone. You worry about the throw short of the end zone that gets lateral, or you get some blocks and you get a guy who's running free like that. So that's what he's probably reiterating to guys. Hey, he's not going to toss it 60 yards into the end zone. We got that covered. You've got to make sure that you rally and be aware that the ball is likely to be lateral here.
So 1st and 10 from the Georgia 42.
Two guys in the end zone for Georgia.
And now UAB wants to take a look at their lineup, the Georgia defense, and talk about it.
Oh, no point in taking those timeouts with you.
How much do you practice to play like this, Rod, during the week?
Every team practices every situation, including this one. You may not spend as much time on it as you do other things, but they at least go through situations like this. End of half, end of game, 2-minute drill, desperation situation. So they have a couple of plays in mind for this. And I'm sure one of them has to deal with lateraling football.
These are the type of situations where we've, for years, looked at New England and those Bill Belichick teams because we say they're so good at situational football. And this is exactly what we're talking about. Two seconds until the half. Three receivers at the top of your screen. Zeno throwing, and they weren't ready for it. And that's the half. Our score here from Athens. It's Georgia 28, UAB 14. To the studio, Kevin Connors, Sam Acho. It's the DirecTV halftime report.
Brian, quite a first 30 minutes there in Athens, Georgia. The DirecTV halftime report. We begin with Ohio State and Notre Dame. And Sam, we've been doing all that talking about the two defenses here in this game, and they are living up to expectations.
They've showed up. Benjamin Morrison has basically shut down Marvin Harrison Jr., held him only 7 yards in the first half.
Spencer Schrader, the missed field goal, 4th and goal. The Notre Dame won. Kyle McCord, no dice.
Yeah, great defense. You drop off in coverage once you notice McCord start to fade. Get your hands in the air to prevent a ton.
You got Harrison, like you said, on one side. Emeka Ibuka on the other. This is initially ruled a touchdown, but it slips out of his hands.
Emeka Ibuka nearly had the perfect catch. Unfortunately, he couldn't finish.
And we've got a 3-0 thriller in the third quarter in South Bend. Ole Miss and Alabama. Jackson Dart and company thinking about the upset in T-Town. Terry and Arnold and that Bama defense had other ideas.
It was the pressure up the middle that caused this ball to float up in the air, and Arnold and his defense did the rest.
Big-time return would give Alabama the football near midfield. And then Jalen Milroe back as the starting quarterback for the Tide. What did you see?
I saw a beautiful deep ball. That's one of his best attributes along with his legs. You give him protection, his players will make the rest of the plays.
Big-time throw and catch. Milroe was knocked out of the game, did come back after a couple plays. It wasn't all about Milroe. Jace McClellan played a big role.
Yes.
And it's Georgia with a 14-point lead, 28-14 over UAB. So you take a look at the first half stats, and really the difference in this game has been a couple of turnovers by the Bulldogs. That's what's kept UAB
in
it.
Georgia had a couple of opportunities to take control of the game in the first half. Those turnovers prevented that. But give UAB credit. They fought back to get into this game, down 2 possessions. They get the ball now. Let's see if the momentum stays with UAB to start the third quarter, because generally third quarter has been Georgia time.
Carson Beck, Brock Bowers have been outstanding for Georgia in that first half as they kick things away. And brought down at the 14. Brian Custer alongside my partner, Rod Gilmore. We got Lauren Sisler with us as well. You know, third quarter, Georgia's been like the Golden State Warriors of college football. They've outscored their opponent 42-0 in the third quarter alone.
Yeah, they make a couple of adjustments. They come out with the right intensity. And I think the message at halftime was that we're so close to controlling this game if you're Kirby Smart talking to your team. On the other hand, UAB, they got to feel good about where they are. One good possession here, and then this game becomes a toss-up.
1st and 10 for the Blazers. And it's Zeno. Gonna keep it, and he's brought down. Jamon Dumas Johnson, they call him Pop. That's a 4-yard loss.
It's a defense that got a pretty stern talking to late second quarter from the Brain Trust.
2nd and 14. Jet sweep. TJ Jones. He's tripped up maybe a yard.
Dan Jackson made that tackle. This may be the best tackling secondary in college football. They love it. They're not afraid to throw their bodies at it, and they're sure tacklers in open space.
Here's 3rd and 12. Over the middle and dropped. TJ Jones had it and dropped it.
You know, this possession started off poorly for UAB with a bad decision on the kick return to hesitate bringing the ball out and gave them bad field position. And then a couple of really good plays by Georgia. Now you're looking at Georgia getting really good field position to start the second half.
Patrick Foley from his own end zone will punt it away. Mekhi Muse standing at midfield. Georgia looks like they're coming after it. And they are. And it will take a Blazers bounce. And they down it at the 41. Let's go down to the field and Lauren Sisler.
Hey guys, talking to Coach Dilfer coming out of the locker room, he said he loves our energy. We're keeping our heads up, we're playing hard, but bottom line is we're getting our butts kicked. There are no moral victories here, so we've got to play better here in the second half of football. Then talking to Coach Kirby Smart, defensively, UAB got into condensed sets, started going a little faster, catching them off guard. Zeno was also moving around a lot, so they've got to keep him inside the pocket. And then offensively, he loves the aggressive play calling, happy with third downs, but wants to see more in the run game this half.
Well, we'll see what happens. You know, Georgia, especially in that first half, they averaged 8 yards a play. UAB, 4.3. Here's Beck looking to throw on first down. He'll take off and pick up about 5. Fish McWilliams makes the stop. We talked about how dominant Georgia has been in the third quarter, and you can see what Carson Beck has done alone here in this third quarter. He's completing about 81% of his passes. He's got a couple of touchdowns and an interception in the third quarter of this season.
Yeah, I think that's right. But remember, Kirby Smart is a defensive-minded coach, and he didn't like the 58 yards rushing in the first half. He wants more.
Well, here's Edwards trying to bounce it off that right side, pick up a 4.
You know, down on the field before the game, the Georgia coaches were talking about this is a night when we find our identity. And that was code for offensively. We're going to run, we're going to do play action and take deep shots. They haven't run it the way they want to run the football tonight.
So far, Georgia has run it for 66 yards.
It's been the quick passing game and Brock Bowers that's been unstoppable.
Edwards bounces it to the outside. That's a first down. He's in Blazer territory.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot more of Georgia trying to pound the football than we saw in the first half.
Edwards over a 50 yards rushing. He's got a couple of touchdowns as well. Oh, picked off. Oh, no, incomplete. I was going to say that would have been a pick 6 for B.J. Mays.
We talked about this late in the second quarter, that UAB would make the adjustment and take away the quick, easy access throws. Look, they're bringing the corners up. And then you have a blocker, Oscar Delp, who couldn't get really in position to make the block there, but be more aggressive on the outside and take away that quick screen and the quick out throws.
Mays is the transfer from Incarnate Word, and he jumped that route. Here's 2nd and 10. Edwards again, breaks and tackles, still running. He's inside the 30, at the 29. Ray Thornton III makes the stop, but a 16-yard pickup.
Did you see the number of moves he made in a short space, short area?
Longest run of the night. That one's low, in the ground, Arian Smith.
Listen, as long as UAB lays off of the receivers, Carson Beck sees it, and he'll take the easy free access throws. Quick slant, wide open, got too excited and just missed it.
Dylan Bell in the backfield. Bell the carry, cuts back, across the middle. He's close to another first down. Ike Rowell with the stop.
UAB defensively has to think about how much they want to dial up the pressure here. You really don't want to give up a score and go down another possession, but they are afraid of bringing pressure and being caught up in one-on-one, particularly with Bowers.
Speaking of Bowers, 3rd and 2, he's in. They go 2 tight ends. Here's Edwards. And it's a first down. They'll move the sticks. Michael Moore makes the stop.
Edwards has become the workhorse. His 11th carry, 65 yards.
Averaging almost 6 yards a pop. And that looks like Michael Moore, the injured UAB Blazer on the field right now.
He's a guy who really benefited from the coaching change. He was kind of unknown last year, and with Delfer and his staff coming in, he lit up, and they gave him an opportunity, and he's been a good starter for him.
28-14 is our score. We're in the third quarter here in Athens.
A little credit to that offensive line that had to make some adjustments because of Amarius Mims being out. Xavier Truss moved from left guard to the right tackle. Dylan Fairchild and Micah Morris shared the left guard spot. Good job.
And Cash Jones cashes in.
Is he? Oh, they mark him short.
They cut him short.
They went on that left side behind Ernest Green, the left tackle, and Dylan Fairchild, the left guard.
I mean, it is right at the goal line, so it'll be 3rd and goal for Georgia.
They're right back at it.
3rd and goal.
go with the quarterback sneak, and Beck finishes it off. So Carson Beck now with 3 touchdowns on the night, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground.
Now look at all the air that Carson Beck gets. He got up there to get over that pile. I didn't know he had hops like that. Well, he's got them. He's had quite the night. You know how tough it must be for him to follow Stetson Bennett.
Here's Woodring. 12 plays, 59 yards. They do it in 4 minutes and 38 seconds. And Georgia now up 35 to the studio and Kevin Connors.
All right, Brian, time for your Chick-fil-A move on the field. SEC West implications, KJ Jefferson to Luke Haas.
And everyone else needed to move out the way because Jefferson is taking his time, pointing to his receiver. Haas is wide open down the field.
59-yard touchdown. They'd go for 2 and get it, and they are knotted up at 24 on ESPN, Brian.
Last week, and KJ needed some of that help last week.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a monster, man. He is a talented quarterback.
From their own 11. That's Jacobs over that left side.
Now this is where you expect the Georgia defense to rise up and allow you to take control of the game. If you're UAB, you need a drive here to keep your defense off the field.
Over the middle. Ferrier. And he's brought down at the 38-yard line. 21-yard pickup for the Blazers, and they go with tempo here.
Yeah, little run-pass option. Finds that spot, and tempo now, going faster.
Now they go empty set.
Got to play zone against that. Can't play
5
man.
wide. Zeno under pressure. Hit as he tried to throw it.
Incomplete.
Zion Logue.
Arm was moving forward.
He brought the load and hit Jacob Zeno.
Yeah, and you got to block that when you're UAB because they simulated pressure, but they only brought 4 guys. But look at the way that Zion Logue just drove his offensive lineman right back into the quarterback.
Zeno again under pressure, and he just throws it away. Jazz Chambliss.
A nice change up by the Georgia defense. Glenn Schumann showing a lot of simulated pressure. Offensive line doesn't know who's coming, and they only bring 4, and they still get heat on the quarterback.
3rd and long. From their own 32. Again under pressure. Zeno, and he throws it away. Jalen Walker applying the pressure.
Walker comes in on obvious passing situations. He is a pass rushing specialist. Just watch the speed and quickness for him off the edge here. No chance. He gets the leverage. He gets the place. Tough job there for the UAB offensive line to try to deal with him.
Yeah, Trey Batowski went right around him. Muse standing at his own 26. From his own 24. Cuts left. And brought down at the 40. 17-yard return, 41-yard punt. How about what Brock Bowers has done here? 7 catches, 110 yards to go along with his 1 touchdown. He now has the most 100 receiving yards with a receiving touchdown by a tight end in the FBS in the last 25 seasons, 8 of them.
Yeah, he's something. I mean, he had 13 grabs coming into tonight. He gets 7 tonight. He needed a breakout game like this because, they just hadn't gone to him enough this season, and he's a real big part of what their identity needs to be on offense.
And now over 2,000 yards receiving. So they go with two tight ends here. And Beck looking over the middle. He's got a man wide open. Is Marcus Rosemy. Jack Saint cuts back to the 15. Upended at the 10. 50-yard completion for Georgia.
Tremendous design route. They cleared out with a deep route and then brought Marcus Rosemy Jack Saint across the field where the clear out happened.
With Lad McConkey out, he has become the go-to guy for Georgia. First and 10 from the 11. Bowers at the bottom of your screen. They go to Bowers. And good open field tackle. B.J. Mays or Colby Dempsey makes the stop.
Excellent open field tackle. Let's go back to that last play. Now watch what happens. See the receiver running down the field. And you see the safety go with him. That clears everything open for Marcus Rosemy Jack Saint to come across and get that 50-yarder. Tremendous design route. Well done.
Bowers at the bottom of your screen. Second and 11. Now in motion. Pitch it out to Edwards. Maybe a yard. Third down coming. Rowell with the stop.
UAB hanging in this game by this possession. Just hanging. A touchdown here puts UAB really on the edge of the cliff.
See what Georgia's done on third down. 7 of 9. Their last possession, and they scored 12 plays, 8 of them on the ground. They converted 8 third downs. They throw it back the other way to Bowers. Bowers, touchdown, Georgia. His second of the night. Third of the season.
Yeah, UAB lost him. Nothing fancy about that. He just lined up like he was in pass protection, and UAB forgot about him, and then he just snuck out. And how you ignore and forget about the best player on the field is amazing.
If you're looking for your identity, I think you found it.
Yeah.
19.
Yep. Can you imagine? Wow.
Last 6 possessions. And a touchback, and they have dominated the third quarter. They've now scored. Their opponents outscored them 56-0. Meanwhile, Brock Bowers, 5th career game with over 100 yards receiving and 2 receiving touchdowns. That's the most by a tight end in the FBS over in the last 20 seasons.
Didn't he do that to UAB a couple years ago?
Yes, he did.
102 yards receiving and a couple TDs. So it's not like they didn't know.
Over 400 yards of offense by the Bulldogs. Brown, Jacobs in the backfield with Zeno. And this is Brown. And forced out of bounds across the 30. Coming up on 5 minutes left in the quarter. Again, Brown.
Oh, that might be a flag. That might be a flag. That was a hit out of bounds. And the reason you might get a flag there, it looks like they won't throw one, is it's a safety issue because there's so much on the sidelines. Watch the end of it. He's still got a foot in bounds, so that's a good no call.
They'll swing it out to Jacobs. He fights his way back to the line of scrimmage. Jonel Aguirre with the stop.
I remember what Trent Dilfer told his guys: embrace the battle, overcome the adversity. This drive would qualify for what he's looking for.
And hit as he completes it. Brown brought down at the 44. Third down coming for the Blazers.
Great open field tackle by C.J. Allen. Normally a pass rushing specialist, but he sometimes drops into coverage. That was a really good open field tackle.
And Georgia's going to call a timeout.
Right.
Down to the field. Here's Lauren Sisler.
Hey, we're highlighting Extra Yard for Teachers this week. Wonderful teachers out there making a difference in the lives of their students. And for Georgia linebacker Smile Munden, it was his 7th grade substitute teacher, Mr. Amiri Williams, that impacted him. Mr. Williams loves sports, so the two of them would watch Smile's middle school highlights together. He encouraged Smile to stay out of trouble and just keep going. And last year, Mr. Williams finally made it to his first ever college football game, and what a good one to make it to. Georgia versus Tennessee. Such a proud moment for both of them.
Smile, of course, had that batted ball that led to an interception for Georgia tonight.
He is a delightful young man. We had a great visit with him yesterday.
UAB 2 of 9 on third down. Looking at 3rd and 8 from their own 44. Under pressure. Zeno throwing to the sideline and incomplete.
You said it, under pressure. You have Damon Wilson Jr. bringing the pressure from the outside. Georgia rotating in as they have much of the night. Their first line and second line of linebackers, kind of like a hockey change. Fresh legs. They've been dominant this third quarter.
And how about UAB? They're still lined up. They're going to go for it on 4th down.
Wow. And Georgia was not ready. They had their punt team out there. It had guys running on the field. And then it looks like they wanted to call a timeout, but they didn't need that because the officials were going to allow substitution because the offense substituted.
And the one problem for UAB, one of their receivers wasn't lined up correctly.
I think that Georgia was concerned that they weren't going to get the time.
Yeah. That's why Coach Dilfer was so upset.
Yeah.
One of the receivers from UAB wasn't lined up correctly.
Yeah, and that allowed Georgia to have more time to get their team out there.
Watch the receiver up top.
Yep. And now when that happens, now you got to give more time to Georgia. You see the official coming in holding the ball, and now that's a delay of game.
That's Fred Ferrier. So Foley standing at his own 24. Muse from his own 20. Cuts back. Flag. And brought down at the 31-yard line. 41-yard punt. 12-yard return, but we'll come back. Here's David Smith.
Illegal block in the back. Number 1 during the return. 10 yards from that spot of the foul. First down, Georgia.
If you missed the Brock Bowers touchdown earlier and you want to know how it's done, listen to my partner on Custer's call, because this is the way it's done.
On the ground, they converted 8 third downs. They throw it back the other way to Bowers. Bowers, touchdown, Georgia.
I see you, my guy.
Brock Bowers, he's now passed A.J. Green. Most games with 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdown catches. Here's Brock Vandegrift as we got a new QB for Georgia. Andrew Paul with the carry. And, one of the things that Mike Bobo, the offensive coordinator, told, he said, we'll see Brock Vandegrift. We're also going to see Gunnar Stockton, he said tonight. Here's Paul over the right side.
Oh, Vandegrift is a local guy. Went to the Prince Academy here in Athens, so he knows these parts quite well. Wanted to be at Georgia. He is the backup quarterback, and getting some reps now is really good and really important for him.
He's got a good arm, and by the way, he's roommates with Brock Bowers as well. His father was a high school coach here locally.
Brock and Brock in the same household.
Third and 1. As Oscar dealt. Mac McWilliams with the stop.
I got a question for you. Number 1 team in the nation. You think there's any risk or jeopardy with that with Georgia since the first half was a little shaky?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Especially because of the size of the lead.
Yeah. I think that's right. And we have to remember that AP poll, that's really kind of for fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think some committee members pay attention to it, but until we get the rankings from the committee, it's all for fun and talk.
Here's McWilliams, fair catch. Let's get us a score update to the studio. Here's Kevin Connors.
All right, Brian, let's take a look at our rewarding performance brought to you by Capital One. Sam, how about Sam Hartman finding Rico Flores?
Notice the time. All the defenders are up in the bottom of the end zone. Get it to the back of the end zone.
Capped off an 11-play, 96-yard drive. Notre Dame on top.
Oof. What's it been, like the 30s, I think, last time Notre Dame beat Ohio State?
Oh, yeah, it's been a minute.
2 minutes left in this quarter. That's Brown down the sideline, forced out of bounds.
I think what we've seen from Georgia this third quarter is the identity that Kirby Smart's been looking for. Running the ball, getting the ball to Bowers, and then defensively really aggressive, putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
Zeno behind Amari Thomas.
They bring 4, and they're still collapsing the pocket. Zeno felt it, threw behind the receiver. You can affect a quarterback if you keep coming at him all night.
Forward pass to Thomas. And forced out of bounds.
How about the speed of this defense? I talked earlier about the secondary being very good at tackling. It is also top end speed elite. I mean, they run down angles. Great pursuit.
UAB converting only 20% of their third down opportunities here tonight. Minute left in the quarter. 3rd and 10. From their own 37. Good snag. As Amari Thomas went up and got it. And that's a first down.
How impressive has he been tonight?
He's been great. The freshman out of Birmingham. That's another 10-yard pickup.
Yeah, and he wasn't even really open on this throw. Really good coverage. Ball thrown out in front. He comes up with it.
Zeno will keep it. Crosses midfield. Mari Thomas has been targeted 13 times. He's got 9 catches and 60 yards. Now work from the pistol, and it's Jacobs. Play fake to him. Back to Jacobs with the catch.
See what I mean? The tackling in the secondary.
And we've now played 3. 2nd and 10 coming for UAB.
You think about 2nd down. This series is really important for UAB. Late addition defense. Wow.
Jonathan Jefferson checking in for Georgia. Zeno, the slant flag, incomplete. How many men did Georgia have on the field? They have 12 guys on?
Illegal substitution on the defense. 12 players in formation. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay, 2nd down.
And that was Jefferson who was running onto the field.
Yeah.
Coach Smart's talking to.
Well, and the official holds up play to let him get on the field. You see the count there. You'll get all the way to number 11, and then you get one more player coming onto the field.
So now 2nd and 5. Again, the slant. Tajon Palmer fumbles.
Good hustle by
Amari
17.
Thomas. Amari Thomas. He has been Johnny on the spot for UAB offensively.
You know, I was thinking about Jacob Zeno's development as the quarterback. You know, having Trent Dilfer as your head coach is a real boon to that, because he knows quarterbacks. Not only did he play quarterback in the NFL in this 3rd short, we'll come back to it.
3rd and 1. Brown cuts it back, and he's got the 1st down.
And Trent Dilfer, 13 years in the NFL, Super Bowl winner. But probably the thing that has the most impact to the youngsters now is that he's been the Elite 11 guy. He created that and ran that. Think of Elite 11 as Top Gun for the best high school quarterbacks.
Davis with the catch.
Kind of a Top Gun school. You know the movie Top Gun. You've been
Absolutely.
You get all these hot shot quarterbacks there, and he's had a hand. And look at this. 27 of the 32 current NFL starting quarterbacks were in his Elite 11 program.
Here's Zeno. And that's low.
Something like 60 of 64 of the Power 5 quarterbacks also participated in that program.
He's worked wonders with Jacob Zeno.
That indeed.
This is the 12th play of this drive coming.
Where is Thomas? He is the most reliable target for Zeno.
Hands it off to Jacobs.
I think that play selection told you they were going to go for it on 4th down.
Lee Beebe got that carry. Fourth down and 6 from Georgia's 25.
I think there was a mix-up down there between the receivers. They sort of ran their routes almost into each other.
Ferrier and Palmer is what you're talking about. Turnover and down, Georgia football when we come back.
Hi, this is Chantrice, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is the richness of the pimento cheese. No, actually, the mild spiciness of the jalapeno peppers. No, it's the crispy chicken. Actually, I can't decide. It's the entire sandwich.
Hey, my name's Liam, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich is that it's so creamy. The pimento cheese has the great flavor, but it also lets everything else on the sandwich elevate it. That takes it up to another level. It's the best.
A truck is a tool, but a Ram is life. It's the let's load up the ATV's life. The my kids play way too many sports life. The let's find a secret spot to fish life. Nice. Discover how Ram powers all the lives you live during Ram Power Days.
During Ram Power Days, get $4,000 retail consumer cash allowance on most 2023 Ram 1500 trucks. See your Ram dealer today.
Saturday Night Football.
Here come the Irish. Duke looking to grab the nation's attention.
Notre Dame Duke, next Saturday on ABC.
At Hollywood Feed, we believe making memories is important. We want you to have as much time as possible for as many memories as possible. That's why we now offer same-day delivery. We deliver exactly what your pet needs, right to your doorstep. Shop online today. Hollywood Feed, a different breed.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
AT&T 5G is keeping fans connected. A look at your multi-view right now. Texas Baylor, the Horns are dominating the Bears over on ABC 38-6 right now. North Carolina, a 2-score lead on Pitt. That game going on in the ACC network. Spencer Rattler, 3 touchdown passes. South Carolina up on Mississippi State. Cal Washington about to kick off on ESPN. Brian?
Vandegrift throwing to the outside. C.J. Smith. That's a 20-yard pickup and a first down for Georgia.
Georgia getting that work for the backups. You see Thornton coming off the field. But you get Vandegrift in, give him a chance to throw and run the offense. You think about Georgia, though. We talked about all the starters out tonight. That's just the starters, not the backups. And the question really is, how would they handle it? Can they overcome something that they've never had to deal with before?
Vandegrift to Oscar Delp. Across midfield, Keandre Swoops makes the stop.
That is Swoops making a heck of a play, not allowing someone to, hurdle him here. Watch this. No, I'm going to stay up and get you.
That one's batted at the line of scrimmage. To the field. Here's Lauren.
Yeah, guys, Georgia has a lot of returning leaders on this football team. The culture, the belief is there and it's in place, but they know they have to earn their spot. Nothing is guaranteed, and that's something Kirby Smart talked to this team about. They've got to remain hungry, hit that reset button, regardless of how well they played in previous seasons in those championship games. blank slate. They've got to be able to paint their own picture. And I think a big part of that we've talked about is the health of this football team and the continuity, having the ability to practice and play with a full deck of cards. That's something that Kirby talked about yesterday with us. You can't play with that full deck of cards and get that consistency that they're looking for with all the health and concerns that they've got.
Well, the guys who are playing have contributed to this. Georgia has won 20 straight games. They have a 21-game home winning streak. Both of those the longest active streaks in the FBS. If you just count the regular season, that streak is at 30. And right up the middle is Andrew Paul, the redshirt freshman out of Dallas. You can see when you talk about the longest win streaks in SEC history.
Look at that, Alabama, top 3 spots. They had their run. This might be Georgia's run.
Van de Griff keeping it. And he's brought down at the 15.
If Georgia is going to win a 3rd straight national championship, the first order of business is getting healthy. And they've got some time. Their schedule gets really tough in November. But if they can get healthy over the next few weeks and get people back, they'll have depth and health, and then they can make that run. I think the concern is this injury bug going to continue for them for the rest of the season? They've not had this before.
Van de Griff. DePaul. Inside the 10.
Can you imagine if they get Roderick Robinson and Kendall Milton back at running back? They get Mims back at the right tackle spot so that the other guys can return to their normal positions. You got a chance then to have an offense that will have the identity that Kirby Smart really, really wants. That is, pound the football, get the ball to Bowers, play action pass.
Kirby looking for his 85th victory tonight. And touchdown, Georgia. Savon Clark. 7 yards out.
You see the way the right side of that line just pushed that defensive front back 5, 6, 7 yards. It wasn't even close. I think Clark wasn't close to being touched. Watch the right side. Watch him push that right side completely out of the picture, creating a huge hole inside for Edwards. I'm sorry, for Clark. I don't think he broke a sweat.
Extra point is good. 49. Head coach against North Carolina, and then 2017 won that first SEC championship. Season later, lost the national championship to Alabama. That was in overtime, you might remember that. 2021 wins the national championship. Last season goes back to back. And one of the things he wanted to see tonight was red zone scoring, touchdowns. Well, his Bulldogs have gone 6 for 6 in the red zone, and 6 of those touchdowns.
Yeah, I was going to say, not just 6 for 6, 6 touchdowns.
Yes.
100%. And, you know, generally you want to be around 75% to be elite. 70% is acceptable. And they were struggling with it. Not tonight. They got it done.
Over 500 yards of total offense, and they were 9 of 12 on third down.
It's been a long time since we've seen a champ go back to back to back. Georgia has a shot at it this year.
Here's Jacobs. He'll cut it back.
You think of any of the teams that won back-to-back and didn't get there on that third attempt? USC comes to mind to me.
Is that Vince Young that took him down?
Yeah, exactly.
Zeno. Good hit. Well, you talked about it. Request the three-peat. Think about Nebraska. 94, 95 national champions. 96, they lost to Texas.
Yep.
Yeah, USC. Vince Young did them in, and then Alabama.
Right.
2011, 2012, and then 2013 lost. Remember that kick six to Alabama?
Crazy.
Auburn, I
crazy.
should say. And, of course, now Georgia.
I'll be honest with you. I don't see anyone on the schedule that can really handle Georgia unless they're not healthy come November.
Under 8 minutes. Zeno throwing, and Ferrier coming up with the catch. Good catch by Fred Ferrier.
Great throw and catch. Great placement. Ferrier comes up with it. But watch where this ball is. Outside the numbers to his guy. Great catch. Stays in bounds. And Trent Dilfer's got to love that.
32-yard pickup. And that one's complete to Tajon Palmer. Palmer's inside the 10.
Better protection for Jacob Zeno. He's got a chance to find a rhythm back there. Georgia not dialing up the pressure as much as they did the last couple of series.
Zeno, 30 for 46. He's thrown for 240. Hands this off to Beebe.
You know, the thing about Zeno, he is on a pace to set all kinds of passing records for UAB this season if this keeps up.
Again, a transfer from Baylor. First season for him as a starter. Second and goal. Beebe.
Hey, Zeno probably has somewhere around 1,200 yards in total passing in just 4 games now with his performance tonight. Averaging, what, 80% completions coming in. He's having a great start.
Zeno keep it and scores.
Well, Trent Dilfer will be pleased that UAB never got out of the fight. They stayed involved, engaged in the fight, embracing the battle, and you see the rough finish of the run there by Jacob Zeno. And as I said earlier, he's putting up some numbers that they haven't had at UAB before so far this season.
We'll make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund, and we thank you, All-State. 6 minutes left in this one. Low kick. This is Paul. Across the 20. Hey, the next stop on the F1 schedule, as we have a flag, the Japanese Grand Prix, famed Suzuki Circuit. That's coming up next on ESPN2 and the app.
Penalty is 10 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Georgia has come up with 10 explosive plays here tonight. And for them, they qualify an explosive play as a 12-yard run or more, 16-yard pass.
Yeah, and if they were looking for 1 out of every 8, they did better than that tonight.
Here comes Gunnar Stockton, the redshirt freshman.
He was the Gatorade High School Player of the Year in Georgia. He had over 4,000 yards passing, and get this, 55 touchdown passes and only 1 pick.
Yeah, you know, he was a 4-star prospect, rated as the 7th best quarterback in that 2022 class. And he'll take off. Big hole up the middle. And he gets tripped up.
That season that he threw for the 4,000 yards, he also almost ran for 1,000 yards as well. So he's a dual threat. They're getting him some run here now.
This is Clark, who scored that last touchdown.
On second down.
He's a senior. He's out of Dawsonville, Georgia.
Well, he got that touchdown earlier tonight with tremendous blocking by the Georgia right side of that offensive line. This is becoming much more of what Georgia wants to be able to do. Run the ball when they want to.
5 minutes. Here's Stockton on the move and throws an interception. Down the sideline is Ricky Lee III.
Yeah, he forced that one, and it was a smart play out there. Really effective, smart play by Ricky Lee III. You know, as a corner, when the quarterback rolls your way, he can only throw it two places, outside or deep. And he recognizes this, and he laid in wait for that outside throw. Quarterback cannot throw it back across the middle when he's rolling that way. So that's a really smart defensive backfield play. You see him coming your way, it's got to be an out throw or a deep throw. That's it.
Third turnover of the night for Georgia. Certainly something they want to clean up going forward. That's complete to Samario Rudolph.
Important drive for UAB. And Trent Dilfer talked about embracing the battle and fighting to the end. How do you want to be remembered? Didn't talk about trying to win the game at all. He's a competitor, though, but knew what he was up against.
This is 2nd and 3. Jacobs. Jordan Hall made the stop.
Can UAB push this in and get another score?
5 of 14 on third down. Good hit. That is Nyland Green. J.C. Sylvie.
Man, this secondary, whether you're a starter or a backup, they have embraced the culture of hard tackling, not missing tackles. This is the best secondary, you know, overall, I think Georgia's had in the last 3 or 4 years. Much better. They've had some more talented players, but not a better group, in my opinion, just from what I've seen on tape.
4th and 3. Pressure. Zeno throws incomplete. C.J. Allen applied that pressure right up the middle.
Has Chip Trayanum punches it in. Ohio State in a thriller, 17-14. Brian?
Wow, what a finish and a win for the Buckeyes. Brian Custer, Rod Gilmore, Lawrence Sisler here with you. Gunnar Stockton, the third quarterback for Georgia, getting that playing time. Here's Andrew Paul with the carry. Take a look now at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Prudential. So Georgia going to get the victory. Michigan routed Rutgers. Texas all over Baylor. Florida State basically won that game in overtime. That was the only time they led in that game. Ohio State's going to got the victory over Notre Dame. Georgia's still #1 team in the country.
Yeah, things remain the same. Georgia hangs on to #1. You know, this second half, dominant performance. And remember, they had a struggle last year with Kent State. And folks will remember that, and that you can't be great every week. And it was just a lackluster first half where they didn't have complete control.
Tyler Williams.
You disagree? Would you drop him?
No, I'm with you. And listen, I know people would say, oh, you only, up 21 or so
UAB.
on UAB, the 3 turnovers, but yeah, I'm with it.
30-second timeout.
Yeah, but they dominated the second
absolutely.
half of the game. They were up 28-14 at halftime. You know, UAB did some things to help them late in the second quarter, which made the game closer than it needed to be or should have been. But you can't discount the fact that they controlled everything in the second half of this game, and they've had a 2, 3, 4 possession lead at times.
Yeah.
And look out, college football, if they get healthy.
Well, tomorrow, Sunday NFL Countdown. Look at 7 years of really Jets frustration as they try to end that losing streak to the Pats. Plus, you can see how Bijan Robinson got his start by breaking items around his grandmother's house. Got that story and a whole lot more. Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
He is a great player, too.
Ooh, do you see that view they sent on social media of that run he had?
Yep.
Flag thrown here. Under 3 minutes left in this one.
Saw Bijan do some things at Texas that made me shake my head.
Offside on the defense with contact. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Boy, you hate that, especially as a coach.
But I think overall Trent Dilfer has to be pleased with the effort by his team tonight. They never backed away from the battle. They did some really good things. You know, look, 250 yards passing tonight. They moved the ball at times really pretty well.
So it's 1st and 10 for Gunnar Stockton. You talked about Trent Dilfer, Super Bowl head coach. To become a head coach, there are a couple other guys who did it.
Super Bowl to head coach.
How about Bart Starr?
Yeah. A couple of Super Bowls for him.
Became a Packers head coach from 72 to 83. Doug Williams, Super Bowl MVP. Then, of course, head coach at Grambling. And now Trent Dilfer, of course, won that Super Bowl with the Ravens. And now head coach at UAB.
That's elite company.
Dilfer looking to rebuild the UAB program. And a good get-right game for Georgia, especially with that SEC opponent next week.
Yeah, they'll see Auburn. You know, if they're healthy enough, they'll be fine. You know, Trent Dilfer, talking to him before the game, talked about what's really important to him is his players understanding it's about more than just you. It's about serving and others, and he's wearing a pair of shoes tonight that illustrate that point. Negu, shoes where he is supporting a foundation for a young cancer victim.
Over the middle, Andrew Evans makes the catch. To the field, here's Sis.
And you might be wondering what Negu stands for. Never, ever give up. And that is in honor of a kid who passed away. A father came and spoke to the Elite 11 camp. His name was Riley. And after his dad came and spoke, Trent Dilfer had decided he wanted to get involved in the cause. My shoe, my cause. So you'll see him wearing different shoes for different causes. And after losing a son of his own at the age of 5, Dilfer has such a heart for giving hope to the community, to families, and as you said, Rod, service to others. This football team has actually given 700 hours of community service. That's what they're all about.
Wow.
He's one of those type of guys. I mean, that was the reason why he went to that high school there in Tennessee, Lipscomb Academy, rebuilt that program and made them a winner. Wants to do the same thing at UAB and try to emulate what this guy has done.
Yeah, I don't doubt
it.
I don't doubt that he will get it done.
The winning streak continues for Georgia. Now 21 straight games, 22 straight at home. And now when you talk about at 100 games, Kirby Smart at the top at 85-15. Best winning percentage through 100 games for an SEC program.
Well, and this run that Georgia is on isn't going to end anytime soon.